Greetings, welcome to another episode of Take Notes. I am Haggai. Today we'll be discussing a very interesting topic. We're speaking about Spotify is in Kenya. What's good? Basically, we're just going to be highlighting what to expect or the kind of environment to expect with Spotify being in Kenya and how it can benefit you as an artist. For those of you who are not tech savvy or are not IT literate, Spotify has been around for quite some time. Personally, I've been using Spotify for quite a while, like let's say 4 to 5 years. But essentially, I've been using Spotify through the application of a virtual private network, a VPN. A VPN allows you to be in any part of the world you want while just being where you are. I've been able to use Spotify for quite some time, and the transition that I'm witnessing, seeing Spotify now being available in Kenya, the kind of leverage or the kind of facilitation that this brings about is quite exciting for me, because seeing what they have been doing for artists across the world, independent artists per se, and even big record labels, it has made me quite anticipative to see what they're going to do here in Kenya and the kind of traction that they're going to generate or get. Kenya, I can say our market is not quite adapt to the kind of ecosystem provided within streaming. One, smartphone penetration is coming up in our country. Internet penetration is also coming up. Not so many people know about or use streaming platforms per se, but the fact that Spotify has finally arrived is quite interesting. Why? As an artist, you can now get access to the full range of products that Spotify offers: podcasts, playlists, etc. This is direct access per se. You do not have to use a VPN to listen to music on Spotify, and you can, as a user, not now as an artist, as a user, you can directly subscribe to Spotify and get access to millions of your favorite songs, millions of track lists available across the Spotify platform by simply downloading the app on your phone. That is a huge step. That shows that Spotify is interested in our market. It shows that we do have the demand for this, but the demand is definitely going to grow with time, and it is quite interesting to watch it grow. We also expect some sort of increase, definitely an increase in the level of investment within music production and music release. Spotify comes with benefits. For example, if you choose to release your music through Spotify, they can give you billboards, they can do a release party for you, they can assist in doing a media tour, they can assist in developing merchandise and branding for your product, for your music, for your album or your project. They can even fund you to do a music video for your project, just to allow your music to take off. This increased level of investment is what we yearn for as a country, because previously artists have really been struggling in terms of releasing their music. Yes, production, that side, there's so many studios you can even produce for free, but essentially the release part has been what artists have really been struggling with. And the coming in of Spotify into our economy is quite crucial in increasing the level of investment in such projects. As an artist, feel free to send pitches or proposals to Spotify, asking them to help you release your music, to help you release your album, because if they like your product, they're definitely going to come in to support you. Apart from just the level of investment, we're looking at also a very competitive landscape going forward within the streaming industry in Kenya. Before Spotify came in, the market share in Kenya was largely occupied by Boomplay as a streaming service, because one, they came in when you buy a Technophone, you get Boomplay pre-installed in the Technophone. Being that most people within our economy are the lower class, definitely the access to high-end smartphones is low, so most people consume Technos and Infinix, and the fact that they can come in and find Boomplay pre-installed there makes it easier for them to access music through Boomplay. That is why Boomplay had a larger market share in our economy in terms of streaming services before Spotify came in. Boomplay was doing a lot in terms of putting artists on Billboard, doing release parties, etc. But once Spotify has come in, they definitely will have to up their game. They definitely will have to go an extra mile for catalog acquisition and music promotion to make artists more interested in distributing or placing their music on Boomplay rather than through Spotify. And this is the kind of competitive landscape that I'm talking about. If both Spotify and Boomplay are working very hard to attract artists, it means that they will definitely be spending millions of shillings to acquire catalogs, and this is what we're looking forward to. Apart from the competitive landscape within the streaming services, we're also looking at an increased competitive landscape within the indirect competition. As per our previous video, we've learned the difference between content distribution platforms, streaming platforms, and content aggregation platforms. These platforms, they all offer indirect competition to each other. YouTube, for example, YouTube and Viusasa, they do offer indirect competition to Spotify because they do have music as a segment within their platforms. Essentially, once Spotify came into the Kenyan market, it means that YouTube and Viusasa, they all have to up their games for them to be able to compete with Spotify within the landscape of music streaming. Apart from indirect competition from content distribution platforms, there's also indirect competition from record labels. And this is interesting for me because 2 years ago, we learned of the entrance of one of the major record labels in the world, Universal Music Group. They came to Kenya, and they came to Kenya by acquiring one of our legendary record labels called AI Records. For those of you who do not know AI Records at its peak, it was operational in 10 African countries. AI Records has one of the largest collection of music catalogs. The fact that Universal Music Group came to Kenya and went directly to acquire AI Records shows the kind of capacity that they have in terms of music catalog. And what Universal Music Group is looking to achieve by acquiring such a record label, basically they're trying their best to get access to this catalog and digitize the catalogs. By digitizing the catalogs, Universal Music Group will basically be placing those catalogs, that music, in different streaming platforms, in different distribution platforms, and in different formats within the internet or within the digital framework. This causes Universal Music to indirectly compete with Spotify if they choose that they're going to be placing this music in other streaming platforms other than Spotify. This competitive landscape is very healthy for us as an economy. It is very healthy for artists because all it does is it increases the activity within our music environment. The increased activity means music will be able to pay more taxes, music will be able to employ more people, and music will be able to put food on artists' tables because the level of investment that is going into these platforms is quite huge. I look forward to the growth and spread of Spotify within our economy. But as we look at this competitive landscape, there are various crucial, various relevant factors that we also need to take into account as we analyze the viability or as we analyze the prospect of diving into the streaming business as an artist. In our first video, we talked about you as an artist. Instead of asking how much money you can make for streaming, we talked about you as an artist asking yourself, how exactly do these streaming platforms make money? Because understanding the back end of this will enable you to position yourself within the platform to make money. In studying the back end of these platforms, these are the 3 pointers that you as an artist need to look at so as to position yourself. The first thing you need to look at is the value proposition. What are you getting from Spotify that you will not get on Boomplay? What are you getting from iTunes that you'll not get on Spotify? The value proposition is quite important in terms of determining where you're going to measure your focus for promotion. Once you understand the value proposition offered by each platform, you're able to position yourself to reap maximum value from that platform. The next thing you need to look at in terms of backend is the price position. Price position in what terms? For a user to access your music, what do they need to pay? And in this sense, mostly it's in terms of subscription models. If you look at the subscription model for Spotify, for Boomplay, for iTunes and other streaming platforms, and analyze the subscription model deeply, you'll be able to understand which of these platforms can actually assist you to generate revenue, because the subscription model is what determines the demand and supply of these particular platforms. And then the third aspect that you need to look at when analyzing the backend is the actual demand for this streaming platform within the music industry. You need to look at how accessible is the streaming platform to artists. The higher the cost for uploading music in these platforms, the more the demand will reduce, because our economy, as I said earlier, is not quite robust to the extent that someone can just pay 5,000 or 6,000 in order to have their music on a particular platform. If it costs very high for an artist to access this platform, definitely the demand for that platform will be low. These three aspects are very important for you as an artist or you as a user to analyze a music streaming platform and get to understand where to position yourself and how you're going to make money out of the streaming platform. So basically, the conversation around Spotify being in Kenya is a conversation that is definitely going to grow within this year, next year, going forward. And I hope that as artists and as music enthusiasts, we're going to build a community or build ourselves around streaming platforms and figure out a way that we can each assist each other to reap the most out of these platforms, because they are created for us. See you in the next episode of Tech Notes. Thank you very much. Enjoy yourself.